welcome to our today's live show. As you know, we are the Wuxi Internal Beliefs Alloying Casting and Forging Company Limited. Yes, uh, Wuxi Internal Alloying Casting and Forging and Company Limited is a company which professional suppliers of the wares and the kit and corrosions, castings and forgings and machine and protective items. We are located in Wuxi, China, about 150 kilometers far away from Shanghai. So we always export our products from Shanghai. So if you are interested in our products, please send us inquiries to our Alibaba shop. You are always welcome. And here are some certificates about the ISO on the screen. Now I will show you more information about the certificate. The first certificate is about the ISO 9001 certificate, which is about the quality management system certificate about the Wuxi Internal Beliefs Alloying Casting and Forging Company Limited, about the quantities management system complies with GBT 19001-2016, about ISO 9001 2015 requirements. The certificate is valid for the following scope: supplier of the alloying castings and forgings. The certificate number is about 0532123055 ROS. And the certificate date is on the December 1st, 2021. The certificate valid date is from the December 1st, 2021 to November 1st, 2024. And the date of the internal certification is at the December 1st, 2021. And the Unified Social Credit Code of the certificate organization is 9132 0211 091152192 So you can search our certificate about the ISO 9001 on the website of People's Republic of China, which website is www.cnca.gov.cn. And after the reparations of the date of supervisions, no later anti-counterfeit mark after the certificate is valid. And then now I will show you more information about other certificates, which is the certificate about the quotation, health and safety management. The certificate, which Wuxi Internal Beliefs Alloying Casting and Forging Company Limited, about the occupational health and safety management system certificate. As you see here, Wuxi Internal Beliefs Alloying Casting and Forging Company Limited, which is occupational health and safety management system, complies with GBT 45001-2020, ISO 45001 about 2018 requirements. The certificate is valid for the following scope: supplier of alloying castings and forging in the States. And the certificate number is about 05321 S30031 ROS. And the certificate date is at December 1st, 2021. The certificate valid date is from December 1st, 2021 to November 1st, 2024. The date of internal certification is at December 1st, 2021. And the Unified Social Security Code of the certified organization is 913-202-111-521-927F. This is a certificate about the Occupational Health and Safety Management System certificate about the ISO 45001. And now I will show you another certificate which is about 14001. This certificate is about the Environmental Management System certificate, which Wuxi Internal Beliefs Alloying Casting and Forging Company Limited. The environmental management system complies with the GBT 24001-2016 about the ISO 14001 about 2015 requirements. And the certificate is valid for the following scope: the supplier of alloying castings and forgings and the states. And the certificate number is about 05321 E30032 ROS. And the certificate date is on the December 1st, 2021. And the certificate valid date is from December 1st, 2021 to November 1st, 2024. And the date of internal certification is on December 1st, 2021. And the date of the internal certification is on the December 1st, 2021. And the Unified Social Credit Code of the certified organization is 913-202-115-219-27F. This is all the three ISO certificates which the Internal Beliefs Alloying Castings and Forging Company Limited have. And we also have been a member of Wuxi Community Terminal of Medic, and we always have verified suppliers certificate, which is a verified certificate number is 20881155-T, and presented to the Wuxi Internal Beliefs Alloying Casting and Forging Company Limited. And for details, please report to the website, which is http://evcasting.en.alibaba.com. And on-site assessment was conducted for Wuxi Internal Beliefs Alloying Casting and Forging Company Limited by the two Rahane assessed by the Josie Wang on 15th September 2020, and valid from the 16th September 2020, valid until the 15th on September 2021, which is this verified supplier certificate, which the Internal Beliefs Alloying Casting and Forging Company Limited have has this certificate for more than 5 years. And we always have specific awards, uh, which is manufacturing excellence and innovations awards, which from the manufacturing excellence and innovations awards on 2020s, which from the Made in China .com and other organizations like SGS and Tuvo, SDD, and other organizations. This is the Manufacturing Excellence and Innovations Awards, which Internal Billys and Learning Casting and Forging Company Limited has. And this is the other certificate from Made in China .com, which is the educated suppliers, which presented to Wuxi Internal Base and Casting and Forging Company Limited. There is other championship from Chinese government or the Chinese like Wuxi Commerces Chamber of the Commerce. And here is there are about 2022 patents which we have. So both of these patents are our newest products we produced, and we export like liners to other countries like Australians or so on. And our company's survey is Wuxi Internal Billys Alloying Casting and Forging Company Limited, and specializes in supplier of heat, wear, and corrosion resistant casting and forging and machines and protective items. And our gold brand is called EB with chapter E and B. And there are about 4 different parts of the main products and the service we can provide for you. The first part is corrosion resistant castings. About 3 different products. The first is the cobalt alloy. The next is the nickel alloy. And the others is copper and the aluminum and the titanium alloy. And the secondary part is the heat castings, about the heat treatment fixtures, radiant tubes, and the furnace rollers, and the melting kettles, slave poles, and the grate bars in the furnace dispense. The third part is wear castings, about the high chromium, white iron castings, the nickel hard white iron castings, chrome, cobalt, line alloy steel castings, and the high magnesium steel castings, and the wear parts for the pressures. The fourth play is the EP machines. We exposed the customer made consultation service on the longer service life and material selections for the branding requirements, the melting for fabric making machines, and the KN95 masks machines, and the 3-player masking machines, and the drying rig machines, and the industry robots. And the technology we can support is we have the distinguished heat and wear resistance. Its parts at home and abroad, which are engaged in research of anti heat and wear materials and the innovation of heat and wear resistant castings products. We have cooperated with Chinese Heat Treatment Association to develop various high temperature alloys. We have cooperated with Tianjin Cement Research and Design Institute to improve the production of cement milling with our modular lining technology. We have cooperated with the Shanghai Delicate Research Institute and the Chinese Academy of Science to develop ceramic about the mireliners. And the founding introductions, we have workshops for castings, forgings, stamping, and plants fabrications, and the machine with 6 tons capacity. And the production process about the investment cost process to produce high precision castings. The centrifugal casting process to produce ready tubes, furnace rollers, rings with nickel-based, cobalt-based, white iron, high magnesium steel, and copper. The sand process to make the medium and the bigger castings with stainless steel, chroniums, molinings, alloy steel, white irons, duty tires, and green irons. And the testing requirements is about the meters, the UT tester, NT tester, PT tester, and the table hardness testers for HBM, and the table hardness test for the HRC, and the portable hardness testers, and the impactor for the Susner's testings, and the universal materials testing machine, and the Neodymium wave high microscope. And here is a test factory we have about the 7 different parts. The first part is electric melting, furnace. Secondly is breaking furnace for the shell model. And thirdly is heat treatment furnace. So fourthly is machining plating, and there's a universal testing machine, Oxford distribute reading, separate treatment meter, and a model for big castings. And the next is the high treatment process alloys, about 2 different parts. The first part is the nickel-based alloy castings with a table with about the ASTM A494 and CC 100 and 350 13501 and so on. The secondly is the cobalt-based alloy castings about the standard stylite alloy. Here is the photos which are about nickel-based alloy castings we produced about nickel-based alloy rings. And here is cobalt-based alloy castings which we test the lens. And here are some material grade for the heat steels materials. Most of these materials is used for the heat treatment, like plants or the bucket. And here is other heat treatment steels with the standards like STM 337. Here is machine, mechanical preparators for the heat castings, as you see on the screen. This is all the information about our which we see internal grease and oil casting and the forging company limited. Now welcome my colleague to her live shows. This is all the information about the internal bliss and oil casting and forging company limited. If you are interested in our products, please send us your inquiries. You are always welcome. Welcome my colleague, Carmen.
Hi, this is Carmen from EV China. Now I will introduce the cobalt alloy and the nickel alloy. This is cobalt alloy's catalog. First part I will introduce the static balls and the static seeds. And next I will introduce the products CO50 castings and forgings. Now I will introduce the steady balls and the steady seeds. This is the material for steady. Steady is hard alloy and that can withstand various types of wear and corrosion and high temperature oxidation, commonly known as COCRW or cobalt-based alloy. Steady is based on cobalt as a main component, including some nickel, chromium, tungsten. The first part is steady bolts. Steady bolt is cobalt alloy, and the hardest is HRC 45 to HRC 55. The mostly used material is steady 20. The next is steady seeds. Material of the landing seeds is generally lower than the material of the variables. The material is steady 3. This is a photo for steady balls and seeds. And this picture shows us taking photos for steady balls and seeds. Include cotton and plywood wooden box. This is a test report of steady balls and seeds. The first one is the number, and the next is 4, and you can see the material, local spec section, and number. in this picture. And next is chemical composition. And you also see the physical properties test. And this is the size of standing balls and the seeds. First is cobalt alloy balls. The second is cobalt alloy sets. So the seventh, I will introduce the export for standing balls and the seeds. We have exported standing valuables and sets to many countries, such as the USA, UK, Italy, Spain, Brazil, and Australia, and other countries. Our customers have added feedback on our standing balls and seeds. And we are looking forward to your order about standing balls and seeds. About our other products from sport alloy, such as sport alloy welding rods, cobalt alloy rolling bars, road bars, and cobalt alloy rings. The next product, cobalt alloy, about castings and forgings. The basic information for UMCO 50. This material is a high temperature alloy material. High temperature alloy refers to a type of material material based on iron, nickel, and cobalt that can work for a long time at a high temperature, about 600 and certain strength, and has high temperature strength, good oxygen, and corrosion resistance, good feature for performance, practical toughness, soundness, and other comprehensive properties. You can look these pictures. This photos for this material casting and forging. And this photos also our castings and forging. You can see this. This is the test report for UMC 50 products. And this is the chemical composition. You can see the order number, order quality, and the job number. Also, you can see the customer packaging, material, and heat numbers. So, and the most important composition standard. This picture shows us the test report for UMTO50 productions. Internal lessons alloy casting and forging. This is the drawing of this production. You can see this is a test report for UMTO50 productions. This is a drawing of this products. And the next product I will introduce a nickel alloy. The first one I will introduce a metal alloy. The second I will introduce a nickel alloy, and the last I will introduce a hot-plate alloy. First, the metal alloy. The basic information for ammonium alloy. Ammonium alloy series products has excellent physical properties, high stress, high corrosion resistant, and wear resistant. And they have the advantages of long series life. Commonly used grades are ammonium 400 and ammonium K500. So the material performance of ammonium K500 is better than that of ammonium 400. And this picture is test report for manual alloy. This is a test report for manual alloy. This is a dimensional check report for products. Here are the bolts, nuts, and the washer with to Australia. This is picture also of the products. Here are the ring and the tools for reason to Singapore. Electric product nickel alloy. The biggest feature of nickel series material is better corrosion resistance. Generally speaking, the higher the chromium content, the better the corrosion resistance. So the higher the chromium content, the better the corrosion resistance. This is a test report for nickel alloy. This is a chemical analysis report. You can see the composition, standard, actual value in this picture. This picture introduces a dimensional check report of products. This is our drawing. And this is the chemical composition. You can see these photos from Euclid alloy. Last, I will introduce the Hastelloy alloy. Hastelloy is a nickel-based corrosion-resistant alloy and divided into two categories. Categories is nickel chromium alloy and nickel chromium alloy. Hastelloy has good corrosion resistance. This is the basic information for Hastelloy alloy. Classification. Hastelloy alloy is mainly divided into three series, B, C, and D. It is mainly used in aerospace with this chemical or stainless steel, metallic materials, and other strong corrosive media that cannot be used. B series. This is a B series. Next is C series, and next is D series. The most widely used are the second generation materials. N104,665 and N10276 and N16022 and N16455 and N046985. These photos for Hastelloy alloy. Next is dental alloy. This is the chemical composition for dental alloy. You can see these two lists. The casting process for dental alloy first is resistant casting, also known as lost max wax casting method, and the basic process is to first make a model from wax or plastic. The surface of the wax model is coated with an molding material to make the casting material, and then the dental alloy is cast into the casting cavity site, forming a casting. The demand distribution for dental alloy. The market for dental alloy is very broad because of the widespread dental history. the metal for this dental alloy has increased. As we all know, there are many kinds of dental alloy materials. Today we show the demand for dental alloys of various materials. One nickel dental alloy accounted for 49% of the world. Two, the cobalt dental alloy accounted for 31% of the world. Nickel vanadium containing nickel alloy accounted for 7% of the world. Four, other accounted for 3% of the world. This is photos for dental alloy. You can see this video. You can use this video. Thank you for your watching. And if you have any question, you can follow us or and you can ask us any question.
Hello everyone, this is Sherry from EB China. Welcome to our lecture today about copper alloy and aluminum alloy. The part one is copper alloy. For catalog, the first one is basic information for copper alloy. The second one is grades and properties for copper alloy. The third one is show our samples for copper alloy. The first one is production types and process for copper alloy. And the last one is export kits for copper alloy. Basic information for copper alloy. For composition, copper alloy is an alloy composed of neutral copper and added one or more other elements. For color, neutral copper is purple green. For density, it's about 8.96. For melting point, it's about 1018 degrees. For advantage, excellent electrical conductivity and crossing resistance. For classification, mainly divide into the bright bronze and the copper nickel. Next, for feature. Rice copper is generally based on zinc as the main activity element. Bronze is green, generally based on silicon as the main added element. Pure nickel is generally based on nickel as the main activity element. For application, the first one is electrical industry. The second one is transportation for industry. The third one is construction industry. And the last one is aviation industry. Next, grades and properties for copper alloy. Grade copper 1 for composition. The copper contains more than 99.95%, and the impurity content less than 0.05%. For use, it is suitable for melting copper, and casting copper rods and copper castings alloys. Grade copper 2 for composition. The copper contains more than 99.9%, and the impurity content less than 0.10%. For use, it is suitable for electrical copper wires, conducting clips, copper rods, and profiles. For properties, it has good conductivity. Next, copper alloy compression hammer. This hammer is different standard and the different name for copper alloy. For example, the China standard is H196. The DIN standard is copper zinc 5. For H185, the DIA and EA and ISO standard is copper zinc 50. The UAS and GIS standard is 23000. For H70, the DIA standard is copper zinc 30. The UAS standard is C26000. For H65, the DIA standard is copper zinc 36. And the UAS standard is C27000. Next, this one is also compression cable for copper alloy. Next, production types and process for copper alloy. Production types for copper alloys. Copper round rods, copper tubes, copper plates, and strips and foils. Copper powder and castings and forgings. Process for copper alloys. Hot rolling process and cold rolling process for copper round rods, tubes, plates, strips, and foils. Die casting process and precision castings for copper castings and forgings. Electrical method, optimization method, and reduction method for copper powder. Next, and some photos for copper alloys. The first photo is copper round rolls. The next is bright copper plates. The next is copper plates. Rice copper tubes. Rice copper castings and forgings. Copper strips and rice copper strips. And the last one is copper powder. Next, export for copper alloy. This is the copper casting. We exported to Australia. We adopted casting process. The material is C95210. Next, export case for copper alloy. This one is chemical composition test report for copper alloy. You can see the part name is Noel Push Board. The material is C95210. Composition. For copper, the range is more than 18.6%, and the actual value is 18.6.84. For silicon, the range is less than 0.25%, and the actual value is 0.05. For aluminum, the range is 8.5 to 9.5%, and the actual value is 9.21. For steel, the range is less than 0.5%, and the actual value is 0.01. Next, this one is national check report for copper alloy. You can see the diameter is 460 millimeters. Next, some products photos for copper alloy. Okay, if you have any inquiry for copper alloy, please follow our shop. Thank you. Next, part 2, aluminum alloy. From catalog, the first one is basic information for aluminum alloy. The second one is goods and properties for aluminum alloy. The third one is show our samples for aluminum alloy. The first one is production types and process for aluminum alloy. The last one is export case for aluminum alloy. The first name, basic information for aluminum alloy. For composition, general theme for aluminum-based alloys. The main alloy elements are copper, silicon, magnesium, zinc, manganese, and the secondary alloy elements is nickel, iron, titanium, and chromium. For color is silvery white. For density is about 2.7 degree. For melting point is about 660 degree. For advantage, pure aluminum has no density, no melting point, high plastic, easy processing, and the strong corrosion resistance. For disadvantage is no density. Next, for solution, add zinc in other elements of heat treatment. For classification, according to processing, cast aluminum alloy and the deformed aluminum alloy. According to chemical composition, aluminum silicon alloy, aluminum copper alloy, aluminum magnesium alloy, aluminum zinc alloy, and the aluminum ring H alloy. For application, aviation, aerospace, automotive, and the shop building, chemical industry, and building. Next, grease and properties for aluminum alloy. Grade 5052. The tensile stress is 175. The yield stress is 119.5. The hardness is 60 HRC, and the elongation is 5. Grade 6061. The tensile stress is 310. The yield stress is 276, and the hardness is 19.5 HRC. For grade 7075, the tensile stress is 572. The yield stress is 503. The hardness is 150, and the elongation is 11. Next, this table is chemical composition for aluminum alloy. Next, the features of each series for aluminum alloy. 1 series. The main feature is the highest content of aluminum with a feature of over 99%. It is currently the most commonly used material in conventional industries. 2 series. The main feature is that the hardness is relatively high, and the proportion of copper content is relatively high, which 3 to 5%. Most are the aviation materials. 3 series. The main feature is the metal at risk function. The content of the magnet is relatively high, 1.0 to 1.5%. 4 series. The main feature are no melting point, well resistance, resistance and the crossing resistance. The pumping of the system is relatively high, 4.5 to 6.0%. Generally used in conducting made and forgings and welding. 5 series. The main feature are low density, high tensile stress, high electric, and good stress, but cannot be stressed. That cannot be stressed by heat treatment. The content of the magnesium is relatively high, 3 to 5%, and is generally used in battery. 6 series. The most important feature is a cold treatment aluminum forging products, which the advantage of the 4 series and the 5 series with higher symptom and the magnesium. Metal crossing resistance. 7 series. The main features are hardness, wear resistance, and good welding. The zinc content is relatively high, generally used in aviation. 8 series. Aluminum foils and plates are not commonly used. 9 series. There is no outstanding feature. It is a spare alloy. Next, the meaning of the letters in aluminum alloy. The O is meaning noise hardness. The F is meaning free processing strength. The H is meaning working hardening strength. The W is salt solution heat treatment. The T is heat treatment. Next, production types and the process for aluminum alloy. Production types for aluminum alloy. Aluminum round rolls, aluminum tubes, aluminum plates, aluminum strips, aluminum foils, aluminum powder, aluminum castings and forgings. Process for aluminum alloy. Hot rolling process and the cold rolling process for aluminum round rolls, tubes, plates, strips, and foils. Die casting and the processing casting for aluminum castings and forgings. Electrical method, optimization method, and the reduction method for aluminum powder. Next, some photos for aluminum alloy. The first photo is aluminum round rolls. The second one is aluminum plates. The third one is aluminum powder. The third one is aluminum tubes. And the last one is aluminum castings. Next, export kits for aluminum alloy. the aluminum casting we export to Russia. The process is processing cast. The material is ZL101. Next, this one is chemical composition for aluminum alloy. The part name is aluminum casting. The material is 6063. For composition, the silicon, the range is 0.2 to 0.6%, and the actual value is 0.3. The magnesium, the range is 0.45 to 0.9%, and the actual value is 0.55. For copper, the range is less than 0.1%, and the actual value is 0.02. For magnesium, the range is less than 0.1%, and the actual value is 0.02. And the aluminum is balanced. Next, chemical composition is ZL101. For composition, you can see for silicon, the range is 6.5 to 7.5%, and the actual value is 6.9. For magnesium, the range is 0.25 to 0.45%, and the actual value is 0.42. And the aluminum is balanced. Next, this one is dimensional check report for aluminum alloy. Next, this one is our products joints and fronters for aluminum alloy. Okay, if you have any inquiry for aluminum alloy, please follow our shop. Thank you. That's all for my speech now. Thank you for your valuable time. Welcome to our next live show. Okay, welcome my colleague here. Here.
还有多久？还有1个小时。你着急不着？你是在讲什么
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Terry from China. Welcome to our live show. Today I'm going to show you something about our product, welding rods. Okay, let's start. And this is our catalog. It can be divided into 3 sections. First, carbon steel welding rods. 2, no-alloy steel welding rods. 3, stainless steel welding rods. 4, steel light welding rods. 5, aluminum and aluminum alloy welding rods. 6, nickel and nickel alloy welding rods. 7, copper and copper alloy welding rods. Firstly, I will shows some basic introduction of carbon steel electrode. Carbon steel electrode, the tensile strength of the deposited metal is less than or equal to 500 MPa. Namely, 50 kilograms is suitable for welding carbon steel and low strength non-alloy steel. The principles of using carbon steel electrodes for the hydrogen type and iron powder type electrodes. The electrodes must be packed at 350 temperature or higher before welding. They should be packed as much as possible and used as much as possible. Otherwise, welding defects such as porosity, snag condition, cracks, deterioration of the process performance. For ceramic electrodes, they should be packed strictly according to the baking temperature specified in the instruction. If the temperature is too high, the cellulose in the coating will be falling off, and the inherent process performance of the electrode will be destroyed. When using low hydrogen electrodes, the welder should stay upright to spread the exhaust to prevent welding fumes from harming the body. For the low hydrogen electrode, the baking times should not exceed twice as much as possible to prevent the coating from becoming brighter and falling off. This is some pictures of carbon steel electrodes. Then I will show you something, some basic introduction of non-alloy steel electrodes for those who require good plasticity, high impact toughness, low temperature performance, and low crack resistance, using line or high toughness electrodes for welding of medium carbon steel or cast steel. Generally choose ultra low high toughness electrodes or supplemented by process measures such as graffiti. Low alloy steel electrodes are divided into the following three categories. First, 50 kilograms class, excited metal structure steel electrode. 2. Molybdenum and molybdenum pianite heat resistance steel electrodes. 3. Low temperature steel electrodes. These are introductions for use of low alloy steel electrodes. The use of low alloy structure steel electrodes is generally based on the strength grade of the steel. At the same time, also need to be graded according to the weld finish of the steel, the transition of the basic metal conception, the size, shape, groove, and force of the welding structure considered. In the favorable situation that the welding seam has a higher pouring rate, which increases the strength and the weld joint is prone to cracks. An electrode with a lower strength than the base metal can often be selected. In case of multi-layer welding of thick planes or non-lazy after welding, it is necessary to prevent the phenomenon of low weld stress. This is instructions of use of low alloy steel electrodes, molybdenum, puritic heat resistance steel electrodes, commonly use alloy elements in pyramid heat resistance are crude. Limited now to meet different working requirements. Due to the joint effect of the carbon and alloy elements in steel, it is easy to form multiple structure during welding, and the welding performance is poor. Therefore, pure resistance steel is generally preheated before welding and tempered after welding. When welding the small steels, welding materials that are compatible with intermediate fixation are generally selected and appropriate preheating temperature and after weld heat treatment conditions should be selected according to the materials with poor wear ability. Last one, we used for thick water pipe welding. No hydrogen heat resistance steel electrodes should be used. And the use of low temperature steel electrodes according to the practicals of the low temperature liquefied gas production process. Low temperature steel is used according to different operating temperatures, and the corresponding welding materials are selected. Okay, next I will invite my colleague Alex.
Hello everyone, this is Alex from EB China. Let me introduce the stainless steel electrode to you. Brief introduction. Stainless steel electrode refers to a type of electrode coated with stainless steel as the source material. It can be divided into chromium stainless steel electrode and chromium nickel stainless steel electrode, which are widely used in chemical fertilizer, petroleum, medical machinery, manufacturing, and other industries. So the transition of various alloy elements between the welding core and the coating. The weldment becomes a certain amount of austenite and ferrite structure to ensure that the weldment goes through crack resistance and puncture resistance to corresponding media ability to code. So the welding core or coating a certain amount of carbide coating essence can be infiltrated into the weldment to form stable carbides with carbon to prevent the formation of chromium carbide as the grain part. The performance requirements of welding and electrode. So in terms of carbon, we have intergranular function in the welding of austenitic stainless steel. Therefore, the carbon content in the welding core and the coating material should be strictly controlled. Low carbon or ultra low carbon is recommended in the welding core. Using low carbon or carbon-free alloy and the metal elements as raw materials for the coating. Strictly control the content of sulfur and phosphorus in the stainless steel welding core and the coating to reduce the risk of thermal cracks in the weld. And next Next is classification. Chromium stainless steel electrode. There are certain series stainless steel electrodes such as G202, G207, G2017, and other electrodes are there are certain series stainless steel electrodes with multi-layered structure. When using the series of stainless steel electrodes to weld multi-layered stainless steel, the weldment repeated about 300 temperatures before welding. After welding, the weldment should be tempered at 700 temperature. By adopting the above-mentioned technological measures, can the weld and the field effective be prevented from cracking due to the greater tendency of hardening. There are 17 series stainless steel electrodes such as G3007 and other electrodes are still 17 series stainless steel electrodes with ferrite structure. By using the series of stainless steel electrodes to weld primitive stainless steel, the weldment should be repeated to 200 before welding and to carry out 800% temporary treatment of weldments. Only by adopting the above mentioned technological measures can the weld and its effective will be inverted at 475 temperature and the cracks due to the greater tendency of hardening. Chromium nickel stainless steel electrode. This type of electrode has good corrosion resistance and oxidation resistance. However, due to repeated heating during the welding process, the precipitated carbides will reduce the corrosion resistance and mechanical properties. Therefore, when choosing chromium nickel stainless steel electrode, welding should be considered the working temperature and the medium types of the parts. And next is selection principle. When selecting a stainless steel electrode with the same or similar features as the base material for welding, pay special attention to the carbon content of the selected electrode, not to exceed the carbon content of the base material. Considering the performance of the welding process, enriched layer titanium calcium coated electrodes are the most popular and are widely used. Titanium calcium type coating electrodes not only have good welding performance but also can be welded in all situations. It is one of the commonly used coating type for stainless steel electrodes. Offline coated stainless steel electrodes are rarely used for welding automatic stainless steel. They are only used to solve cold cracks in multi-layered stainless steel or welding structures with high resistance in order to improve the stability of the arm. Generally, oxide metals with lower ionization potential and oxide metal oxides are used such as arc stabilizers. For the welding of corrosion-resistant stainless steel, the electrode should be selected according to the work temperature of the corrosive medium. For weldments that work at room temperature and the corrosive medium is not corrosive, stainless steel electrodes that do not contain MBOTI can be used for welding. For welding structures that work in sulfuric acid or as a corrosive medium stainless steel electrode containing ammo and steel are often used for welding. When the structure works above 300 temperature and the medium is very corrosive, stainless steel electrodes containing NdOTi elements or ultra low current should be used for welding. When welding corrosive stainless steel, in order to ensure the various properties of the steel, the compositions of the selected electrode should be similar to that of the base metal, and the corresponding preheating and post-treatment measures should be adopted. Chromium nickel stainless steel electrode welding can also be used for after welding heat treatment. And next I will invite my colleague Carl to introduce you.
Hello everybody, this is Carl from China. Next, let me introduce the next part. The cellulose welding rules. Cobalt-based alloy post metal has good corrosion resistance in general corrosive media, so it's often used under conditions that require wear resistance and corrosion performance. This is the radius for stainless welding rules. Aluminum welding rods use aluminum and aluminum alloy as welding rods for deposited metal. According to its composition system, they are pure aluminum welding rod, aluminum silicon welding rod, and aluminum manganese welding rod. Pure aluminum electrodes are mainly used for welding aluminum and aluminum alloys that do not require high joint performance. The welding system of aluminum silicon electrode has good thermal crack resistance and is often used for welding aluminum plies, aluminum silicon cuttings, general aluminum alloys, forged aluminum, hard aluminum, etc. But is not suitable for welding aluminum magnesium alloys. Aluminum Manganese electrode has good corrosion resistance and can be used for welding aluminum, manganese alloy, pure aluminum and other aluminum alloys. Instructions for use. The coatings of aluminum and aluminum alloy electrodes are cell-based. That is, there are many composed of chloride and fluoride sites of alkaline metals and alkaline earth metals. During welding, the arc stability is poor and the smash is large. So DC power supply must be used. In addition, the electrode coating is easy to absorb moisture, so it should be stored in a dry, sealed container, and it must be dried at about 150 temperature for 1 hour before welding. When after welding, aluminum and aluminum alloys, effects such as metal oxidation, element burnout, pores and cracks often occur. In order to prevent the above effects, in addition to storing and drying the welding rod, chemical cleaning or mechanical removal of the groove dirt is also used. The preheating temperature should be appropriate, and the short arc welding should be used. The welding speed should be accelerated, and the horizontal switch should not be performed. Nickel and nickel alloy electrodes. Basic introduction. Nickel and nickel alloy electrodes are mainly used for welding pure nickel and high nickel alloys, sometimes used for welding dissimilar metals. However, considering the alloy loss of the electrode in the arc, some other elements should be included in the electrode to improve the weld performance or welding process performance. Nickel and nickel alloy electrodes are mainly selected according to the alloy brand, chemical composition, and used elements of the base metal to be welded. The main chemical composition of the deposited metal of the electrode should be close to that of the base metal to ensure that the performance of the weld joint is equivalent to that of the base metal. However, considering the alloy loss of the welding rod in the arc, some other elements should be included in the welding rod to improve the weld performance or welding process performance. In the welding rod with the step composition does not meet the design requirements, or there is no suitable welding rod with similar alloy composition. It is recommended to use the welding rod with a higher performance to ensure that the performance of the weld is not lower than that of the base metal. Preparation of the base metal, the oil, point, dust, and other dirt in the surface of the base metal should be carefully removed before welding. To prevent boreholes, short arc welding is used. Use a small welding current. Do not preheat before welding and keep a low interpass temperature, less than 115 temperature, to avoid overheating of the base metal. During welding, the swing range of the electrode should be small and stay on both sides of the welding bit for a long time. Speculate the emergency of pores and welding slide. Pay attention to filling the arc correctly when closing the arc to avoid correct cracks. The microstructure of nickel and nickel alloys is austenite, which has a strong tendency of hot cracking. When welding flight welds, the weld feed is required to be fixed, which can better prevent the generation of hot cracks. Copper and copper alloy electrodes. Basic introduction. Welding rod with copper and copper alloy as hot-gate metal. According to its condension system, there are red copper electrodes and bronze electrodes. Bronze electrodes are divided into silicon bronze electrodes, phosphor bronze electrodes, and aluminum bronze electrodes. The copper electrode is mainly used for welding copper. Bronze electrodes can be used for welding various copper and copper alloys, copper and steel, similar materials. It's also commonly used for surfacing, bearings, and other parts that where its metallic wear and corrosion resistant parts. And can also be used for welding and repairing cast iron parts. Copper has a large depletion coefficient and large shrinkage stress during cooling, which is easy to cause cracks and deformation. Therefore, the assembly gap should be wider and the bevel angle should be larger. The oxides, grease, and other dirt on the welded edge should be removed before welding. Due to the extremely high thermal conductivity of copper and copper alloys, it is necessary to preheat and use a larger current when welding. In order to prevent the grains from concealing, a flight heat hammer is used to hammer the weld after welding to eliminate stress and refine the grains. In addition, the welding operation should be carried out in a ventilated place or use artificial ventilation to avoid copper poisoning. In order to obtain high quantity welds and reduce the oxidation of alloy elements, copper and copper alloy electrodes should use alkaline low hydrogen coatings. Thank you everyone. Now let us invite my colleague Aishan.
我操，4号，你这个任务有点繁重，还有20分钟。
Hello, this is Ethan again. Now I will show you more information about our metal powders. As we know, EB China is a professional suppliers for the metal powders. Now I will show you about 4 different part of metal powders to you. The first part is the aluminum powders. And the second part is the nickel powders. And the third part is about the pure copper powder and the copper aniline powders. The next is other metal powders we have produced. Now let's begin the first part. Here is a catalog. I told you before there are about 4 different parts. The first part is the nickel powder, and the second part is aluminum powder. And the third part is copper powder. And the copper powder is divided into types. The first type is the pure copper powders, as it means that there are only an element copper in it. And another is copper alloy powders. So there are other elements in the copper alloy powders. And then the first part is about the cobalt powder. And we have also other metal powders here. Now let's begin the first part about the nickel powders. As you see in the screen, there's pictures of about the nickel powder. As we know, metal pigments with metallic nickel as the main component, including nickel powder and flake nickel powder. And the nickel powder is distilled and purified. And the flake nickel powder is made of high nickel powder in the presence of suitable lubricant and liquid medium. And then it's a ground with a steel bone in bone marrow to form a flake of suitable thickness. And then now I will show you more details about the remaining powder. First, I will introduce the color and shape of the nickel powder. And then the next is, as you see before, the nickel powder, as you see, usually it looks like a green. So it's green value powders, easily to oxidize in the moist air. And the next part is about the use of nickel powder. Nickel powder used to repair non-ferrous alloys, high treatment resist, and anti-oxidation materials. And the magnetic materials can always be used as a hydrogenation catalyst for the chemical reactions. And the next is about picking of nickel powders. Usually, our nickel powders usually packaged with protective gas, limited plastic bags, frozen bags, and iron drums. As we know, nickel powders is easily to be oxidized in the moist air. So we need to do some different design about the package to avoid it be oxidized by the moist air. So we provided the protective gas limited plastic bags and clothing bags. Usually it uses plastic and aluminum. As we know, aluminum is oxidized less in the moist air. So aluminum bag is best choice for you to package the nickel powders to avoid it being oxidized in the moist air. So our package is safe enough and good enough for our nickel powders. So that if you are interested in our nickel powders, please send us your inquiries about it. You are always welcome. And our nickel powders can provide different mesh about, for example, we can produce about 325 mesh nickel powders. Usually it is also about 1 to 45 micrometers. So the nickel powders is also have nanometers size. For example, we can produce we can provide the best size is about 50 nanometer. And after that, I will show you some pictures about the nickel powders. As you see, the first is the nickel powders, and the picture next is also. Due to these metal powders, these nickel powders with different mesh. As you see first, the first pictures looks better than the second one. Due to the first is about 20 mesh. So it's more than 145 micrometers, and which beside it is about 325 mesh. So you will see singly it looks better than the first one. And here is the symbols which we produced due to the nickel powders is easily to be oxidated in the moist areas. So we package the sample nickel powders in the bottles to avoid it to be oxidized in the moist areas. And there are other factors about the package. The first package is cartons, which we will package all the nickel powders into cartons. If the quantity is more than 30 kilograms, so that we will choose the metal drums to help you package the nickel powders. Due to the metal drums is good counters to take all the nickel powders. We also package with protective gas limited plastic bags and clothing bags in it. So don't worry about our nickel powders, which could be oxidized in the moist areas. And this picture is show you the nickel powders which we packaged in the aluminum gas limited aluminum bags. And as you see, we also have different kind of metal powders. As you see in my hand, it's about the GE powders. As you see in my hand, maybe there is a plastic, so you could not take a good look at in these GE powders. Don't worry, if you are interested in our metal powders, please send us your inquiries. So we will send you more details and more information or more pictures about our metal powders here. Here is about the GE powders. It is used widely in our daily life. Back to the nickel powders. After these pictures about package, there is all the pictures of information about nickel powders. It have different mesh. The next is the test report of our nickel powders. As you see in the screen, which nickel powders after test, the standard is about 99.77%. And it's test report of nickel powders. So our nickel powders is purity enough to meet your requirements. And as you see, other things, due to the nickel powders is easily to be oxidized. So you will see the element oxygen is take about 0.13. Due to when you package the nickel powders, it must be put in moist environment in moist areas. So it will be oxidized by the oxygen. But there are other RE is less than 0.09. So our nickel powders is purity enough. And the next part is about the aluminum powders. As you see in the screen, is pictures about the aluminum powders. The aluminum powders looks like silvers, as you see on the screen. Aluminum powders commonly known as silver powders. That is silver metallic pigment is a small amount of lubricant is added to perforate aluminum foam crushed into the scaly powders and then polished. There is also about some information about the aluminum powders. As you see first, the aluminum powders usually like silver white powders. So as you see in my hand, it's aluminum powders about 325 mesh. It's all the situations due to the plastic bags, so you could not take a good look about it. But you can see the colors in it. It's silver white. Back to the information. The aluminum powders is used for three industries. First is paintings, and secondly is links and fireworks. So if you see fireworks on the evenings, it must including the element aluminum. Maybe there are different kind of aluminum powders in it, so it will show you different colors, like yellow, red, and other colors in the sky. So aluminum powders is also packaged by the protective gas limited plastic bags, frozen bags, and air drums. As you see the photos on these pictures, most of them are also the aluminum powders. We packaged two different mesh aluminum powders on the screen, so it will help you to divide them. So you will see the second layer looks better than first. Due to the second layer mesh is about 325 mesh. The first is more than is less than 200 mesh. So you will see the second layer looks better and it can use the wide layer more than the first one. And the next is also the symbols. Due to any kind metal powders need to be packaged in the bottles as a symbols. Due to the bottle is easily for you to see, and you will to divide it. What's in it? And here are some more pictures about the packaging. As you see, the package of the aluminum powders is the same as the nickel powders. The next part is about the test the report of aluminum powders. After we test the purity of aluminum standard is more than 99.98%. So our aluminum powders is purity enough for you to use. And here is the next part is the copper powders. As we know, copper powders is divided into two parts. The first part is pure copper powders, and the next part is copper alloy powders. As we know, pure copper powders is about copper, only copper element in it. But the copper alloy powders including different elements like the schematic take about 40%. As you see, the production process of the copper powder is divided into the electrolytic method and the atomization method and the reductions method. Now the most used method is atomization. As you see on the screen, if you want to buy the pure copper powders, it looks like yellow, but if you want to if you want to buy the pure copper powders, it looks like red on these pictures. And if you want to buy the copper alloy powders, it looks like yellow here. And I told you before, the color is about two parts. The purity copper powder is red, and the copper alloy powders is yellow. The copper powder is widely used in powder manufacturers, demonstrators, selling materials, and electric copper powders, and heat conducting materials, and conductive materials, welding materials, and superhand materials, and the friction materials, and the chromium circuits, and the chemical industry. And it is also packaged in protective gas limited plastic bags and frozen bags and iron drums. And here is also some pictures. The first see pictures it show you the pure copper powders, and the pictures behind is the copper alloy powders. And after we test, if you want to buy the pure copper powders like this, the copper is take more than 99.9 cents. If you want to buy the copper alloy powders, the copper is take more than 60%. The thickening is take about 40%. And then here is 4 parts of cobalt powders. As you know, the raw materials for the productions of cobalt powders is cobalt oxalate. And the colors is same as the nickel powder, so it is also looks like green. And it is used widely in the medical products such as cemented carburetors and diameter tools, high temperature alloys, magnetic materials, and chemical products such as rechargeable batteries, industries, graphene, agents, reactor foam, and medicine. And it is also packaged in the protective gas limited plastic bags and frozen bags. Also can be packaged in the iron drums. And the next part is about other copper powders. After we test here is the size composition table of powders. Different mesh is also have different micrometers or other things. If you are interested in our many powders, please send us your inquiries. And the last part is our other metal powders, as you see on the screen, about more than 6 tons. So if you are interested in our metal powders, please send us your inquiries about what kind of metal powders, what method it is, and what's the quantities you need. And most importantly, it's about the purity of the metal powders. So if you are interested in our Wuxi internal beliefs and Low-end Casting and Forging Company Limited DB metal powders, please send us your inquiries. We are waiting for your inquiries. You are always welcome. And today we will, and tomorrow we will also have a live show. So see you tomorrow. This is all for today's live show. Thank you for your watching, and see you tomorrow.